for our YouTube channel. Here. Okay, from the book Something You Forgot Along the Way, Stories of Wisdom and Learning. Number 19. Promises are to be kept. A young man was taking a walk one day when he came on a shabbily dressed little girl crouched by the side of the road, weeping as she clutched some broken pieces of pottery. Gently he asked her what the trouble was. It seemed that she was an only child whose only parent was seriously ill. She had borrowed a 1 liter jar from the landlord and was on her way to buy milk when she dropped the jar and smashed it. She was crying in fear of a scolding. Feeling sorry for her, the youth pulled out his wallet and checked it, but he was a poor scholar and the wallet was empty. Come back here tomorrow at the same time, he told her. I'll give you the money for another jar of milk. He shook hands with her and went on his way. The following day, he received an urgent message from a friend. A wealthy man is here, someone interested in sponsoring your work. He's leaving in the afternoon, so come right away. Yet going to meet the rich man would have meant breaking his promise to the little girl. The young man quickly sent this reply. I have important business today. I apologize for the inconvenience, but I must ask him to return another day. And he kept his promise to the child. The would-be benefactor at first took offense, but on hearing what had kept the scholar, he was thoroughly impressed and became his most ardent supporter. Rich people can be touchy and difficult to deal with. They tend to think that their money entitles them to have their way in everything. Yet, or even those who are not rich will too often break any promise and bend any principle for the sake of money, becoming its slaves. The Chinese character for making money is composed of elements that can be read trusted person. In other words, money comes to those who are worthy of trust. The basis of trust lies in keeping a promise regardless of its cost to oneself. Promises that cannot be kept should not be made. He who breaks a promise not only inconveniences others, but inflicts damage on himself. Okay, very good. So this is the second paramita, or one of the 6 daily practices that as a spiritual person we engage in. And it's the instruction by the Buddha, if you want to be happy, plant seeds of happiness. So one of those major seeds of happiness is to keep our promise. It's the second of the 6 paramitas. Uh, yeah. So, one thing is keeping promises has a direct relationship to the level of joy or serenity and fulfillment of the heart we experience every day. Some people don't like commitments. Yeah, well, I mean, it's human nature. Commitment, it feels like kind of pain. So we don't like commitment usually. So we try to be free and not get ourselves committed to something. But that means we are avoiding promises. We don't want to give our word. From the perspective of the Dharma, we are missing out in life because when we don't give our words towards the light, towards true happiness, so we are not putting utmost effort. Um, yeah. If we don't get tied up by the Dharma and uh, Dharma commitments, I like to call it. If we don't get tied up by these Dharma commitments, we will get tied up by worldly commitments a lot, and people will pull us to different directions, and then we suffer because um, we are not moving towards the light, or we forget about moving towards the light. Of course, when we are always keeping in mind our purpose in life, why we do what we do, everything is utilized to benefit us and people around us. But when we get tied up by those worldly commitments, we forget our purpose and we suffer. So one practice is to grow those commitments. Yeah, and that's how we can gauge our progress too. So, for example, I was able to do this recitation meditation maybe once, twice a week before because I had a lot of worldly commitments and just people pulling me in all directions. But now I can do it, 4 times a week. And so you can see your own progress. And yeah, in all areas, we can gauge our progress. Or I was able to share the Dharma only with one person before, and now I have five people that I'm sharing the Dharma with. So that's like a Dharma commitment also. Um, it's like you expect more from yourself and you meet those expectations so you don't disappoint yourself or others. And whenever we fail, we have a lot to reflect on, which is also another of the six paramitas. Mm, yeah. Someone said, like, we are receiving happiness or joy in accordance to the cup of the mind. If we compare our mind or capacity of, like, to a cup, when the cup is small, we receive very little. When the cup enlarges, we receive more joy. So by doing these practices, six paramitas, we are enlarging our capacity for more abundance, more joy, and more serenity. Just like the poor scholar, he didn't break his promise once he made it. He was determined to follow through, and that creates a very beautiful vibe that attracts beautiful people and beautiful conditions and circumstances to us. Yeah, so we can revisit this in the future. But good job, everyone, for being here practicing together. We will have Purpose and Meaning Lab at 3 and Advanced Group Session at 6 p.m. Pacific. And have a wonderful Friday. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Beta.
guys. My pleasure. Have a good one.